Hi there, my name's Emily. I'm at the city centre site and I work for the church. So when thinking about my experience of lockdown, I was reminded of the song Fight My Battles, and there's a line in that song that says, "It may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by you." And so basically I'm a person who loves being with people. I fill my days with people. And one of the things I really need from people is the opportunity to be accountable to them. I've learnt the hard way that true freedom comes from being open and honest. And when I was holding stuff back from people and saying, well, actually, God knows that, so I don't need to surrender that, what I was actually doing is saying, I'm scared of the result of what might happen if I surrender those things, if I tell people those things. So yeah, it's a journey that God has brought me on really graciously. He has surrounded me with people who are really loving and caring and gracious, and who speak truth into the situations, into what I'm going through. So when lockdown happened, it was quite a surprise that instantly the enemy basically brought back all of these things that I'd already felt like I'd walked through and dealt with. But he'd also added a couple more in, because he told me that, well, you've already walked through this stuff. You can't tell people this. They'll think less of you. They might be angry with you. They might walk away from you because you should have already dealt with this. And actually, now's the perfect time to hide it, because you're physically separate from people. So I guess this was the first bit of the song, which was, "It may look like I'm surrounded," because my mind was full of all of these lies and I kind of got myself a little bit stuck. And then I had a card in the post one morning, and it spoke of how God had so much more for me, and that how he was going to use what he'd brought me through in my freedom journey to bring freedom to other people. And as I read those words, it completely broke my heart, because I realised what I'd allowed into my mind, and I'd been making a choice to listen to the lies rather than surrender. And so as I started to text people, that itself was a battle. But as I kind of was getting to the end of those messages that I was sending out, I can only describe it as like this joy that was bubbling up inside of me, that it was kind of like a freedom that I hadn't experienced before, because it was felt like quite a big deal to go out of my way to contact people and surrender this stuff, when I had this quite tempting choice of just hiding. But I knew, as I read those words, as I then started to read through scripture of the freedom I have in Jesus, is that I am free. And I want to live in that freedom, and I want Jesus to have everything. And so as I was thinking about this, I was just thought about how our freedom is not limited by being physically free. It's only limited by whether or not we offer ourselves honestly to Jesus. And in Colossians, when Paul is under arrest, he is physically trapped, but he is very much like spiritually free. And I guess that's the other part of the song, that it may look like I'm surrounded, but I'm surrounded by him, and he is far, far bigger than all the lies that the enemy is going to throw at me. And he is far greater, because all the enemy actually has is lies, and my God has got freedom, he's got love, he's got hope, he's got forgiveness, he's got peace, he's got so much goodness, that actually I want to say no to those things and say yes to Jesus every day. And yeah, so that's kind of my little experience.